there, Commercial Construction Coffee Talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Course, and I'm your host. I'm also the publisher and editor of Commercial Construction Renovation magazine. Actually, this is what it used to look like when it was called Retail Construction. I'm bringing out the archives. This is J.C. Penney back in July, August 2007. Anyway, but this is what the magazine used to look like. We went digital August of 2021, but it's so nice to see what the magazine used to look like way back in the day. And I'm bringing out some archives because I've kept using the current issues. And anyway, hope everybody's having a great week. It's almost the weekend here down in Atlanta. I got a little clouds on the sky, but everything's green. The trees are blooming. I got pollen all over the place. I mean, I walk outside, you got a film of green on you. And so if you have allergies, you don't want to be here in the South. Right now, all the way through April, May, it's done. And in June, the humidity comes on. So anyway, a lot of crazy stuff going on. Huge sports month. You got, college lacrosse is booming. I got my colors on because you got DU, we're cranking. We beat North Carolina last weekend. We're going up to Connecticut to play Yale this weekend, and then we got the Buckeyes coming in the following weekend, and then we get into league play. So we just got back into the top 20, so go Pios on the lax green. On the frozen pond, DU is ranked number 3 in the country, and we've got the NCHC tournament in Minneapolis coming up, and we're seeded number 1. So I think we're open up against Miami of Ohio. But a couple of really good teams. They got North Dakota, St. Cloud State, Minnesota Duluth. The league is chock full of good teams. It really doesn't matter what your record is. When you get in the playoffs, it's unbelievable. And then, so go Pios. Let's win that and get the seed to get into the national tourney and see if we can repeat back-to-back because we won the championship last year. And then, of course, for all you hardwood guys out there, whether you're on the men or the female, you got March Madness. The brackets are coming out, so may your picks be good. You know how tough it is to pick all those teams, to get in. But it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully there'll be some good Cinderella teams in there, and may the best team win. It's going to be fun watching all that. I always like watching the early rounds because that's where all the upsets happen. So it should be great. So, but segueing into that, I have a sports guy. Talking sports, I've got a sports guy on our episode today. He's a gentleman up in the great state of North Jersey. New Jersey. South Jersey, North Jersey. It should be 2 states, in my opinion, because I grew up there. But he's up there in New Jersey. His name is Mike Kraner, and he's the CSO at My Backyard Sports. Mike, say hello to our listeners out there at Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
Hey, listeners. Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me on today.
And let's see your shirt. You got your logo shirt on there. Let's see it, man. There you go.
I'm rocking my Backyard Sports t-shirt.
Yeah, there
today.
you go, man. You got the colors on. We love it, So
thank you.
We appreciate you finding the time. And the reason why I had Mike on, basically, listen, it's a huge sports month. They're in the sporting goods side of thing. They build, courts and all that kind of stuff. And he's got momentum. And so I figured we talk sports today, but from a construction point of view. So Mike, the way we work this is I do it in 3 parts, our interview. You're going to tell your story, where you grew up, if you played any sports, brothers, sisters, and how you ended up where you are today. Then we'll talk about the last couple of years, lessons learned through the roller coaster. And then we'll finish up with one positive thought or phrase for our listeners. You leave your contact info, and then we'll close it out. So with that said, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
Hey, David. Excuse me. You talked about allergies. Well, unfortunately, we have allergies here in New Jersey as well.
Yeah.
But it's not as nice as the weather of Colorado. So my story is I grew up, I love sports. All I ever wanted to do was play sports. Went to school, ran home, played sports, got a job, ran home and played sports. But My Backyard Sports was kind of born in my head when I was 9, 10 years old. We play sports in my backyard. My backyard is this wide, Brooklyn, New York, the width of a front side of a car. And when I would go into my backyard. All I wanted to do was pretend I was, I wanted to play basketball, pretend I was Michael Jordan, work on my game. And I like to say not only did my game get better, but the business was born. And our focus is on, delivering happiness, creating memories the way I wanted it when I was 10 years old. So when I was playing, I wasn't playing in my backyard. I was playing as if I was at the Great Western Forum, Boston Garden, Madison Square Garden. And, you all, everyone plays and it's game 7, they're shooting the final shot. But when I would visit my cousins in the suburbs, they had all this space and their driveway was not this. It was big and it could be anything you wanted it to be. So I knew from that point on, when I was 10 years old, that when I moved to the suburbs one day, I was stuck with this accent, so I had to go someplace else.
Yeah, we know you're not from the South, So I'm a
definitely
Yankee
not
living
from
in
the
the South.
South.
People are like, we know you're a Yankee living in the South. Where you from? I don't
So
want. You're not from Boston. You're not from Jersey. You're not from New York. You're not from Philly. I'm like, Philly's got a little twang. We say water, not water. And so I'm like, yeah, I've kind of lost it, but I still have that northern twang.
I'm definitely a Brooklyn guy. Wherever I go, it's pretty clear. I'm Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I always knew that this is what I wanted. I wanted a lot more space. I wanted a place where I would have a flat driveway and a flat backyard. And when I was grown up and had children, and I was looking to move outside of the city, it had to have a flat driveway and a flat backyard. There was no other place for me to go unless I had that. And it was all about sports. I didn't care if I had roofing or plumbing or electric. I just wanted to play sports at my house. And that's what it was all about.
So you got out of school. Talk about how you got into, the franchisee, side of things.
Sure. So, when we built this, I realized a few things right off the bat. When I went to build it for myself, I couldn't find anybody to help me. Once I chose a house that had a flat backyard, that's all I wanted. So I looked for a construction partner to help me build a basketball court. That's all I wanted. Something that was custom, the right hoop, the right colors, that when I walked home, I was playing at, Cameron Indoor Arena, Madison Square Garden. This is all I wanted. But I couldn't find anybody to help me. And there was one company I called a number of times, but they just didn't show up. So what I realized is that there was a huge need for people who wanted something at home that was custom, and there was really no reason they couldn't have it. So I did some research, looked around, and I said, you know what? I wanted this my whole life, and that if I want it, there has to be gaps in the market where other people need it, want it. And when you think about it, it's more than sports. Sports is it's Americana, it's friends, it's family, it's health and wellness, it's building confidence, it's creating an opportunity for children to socialize, and it's amazing. So when I see a driveway or a backyard, I don't necessarily literally see the driveway. I see what it can actually be. So now we design, build, and install 30 different sports: football, basketball, turf, a lot of pickleball, hybrid courts, and every property is unique. So how can we design and build what's unique to that property? So maybe you like hockey and lacrosse. Well, you know what? In the summer, I could build you a lacrosse field, turn into hockey in the winter, and then customize it, with piles on it. And every time you walk in, now you have the stadium experience in your home and backyard. And that's really pretty awesome. And that becomes a destination. So when you say my backyard, it's not just a backyard, it's a meaning. But we took it further. It's not just my backyard and, my house. My backyard means my neighborhood, my community, my church, my synagogue, my municipality. That's really my backyard where I grew up. So now we look to share sports. And when we build that, it's really just something that ties everybody together. So if you loved sports growing up, you probably can't wait to share it with your children. If you didn't play sports growing up and you were a little bit left out in the sports crowd, well, maybe this is an opportunity to give your kids an advantage. There's so many different ways to build something. And I think the world didn't know that they can have this. And that's the void we're filling. We're the only national franchisor in the country, in the world, focused on specialty sports construction and delivery. So if you dream it, we can likely build it. And that's what it's all about.
We have a piece of land, and we're building our empty nester house up on the lake. Anyway, I'm putting turf in the back. I'm done cutting grass. I don't want to water it anymore, and I'm putting turf in the back. And I would put it in the front if the HOA would let me, but they're not. So I got to put sod in the front, in the front of the house. But in the back, I'm putting turf, and my wife's like, you're not putting a putting green or anything. Like, babe, if I was going to put anything, I would, I'd have a net back there and a wall for wall ball, and have she knows I had the man cave at my old house, so I'll have one room where I can kind of do my gig, but I had the net. I had the wall bar. I had the pitch back at my last house, and all the kids would come over. So I grew up the same way you did. I mean, I played every season. Everybody played sports. That's what you did. In the fall you played football, in the winter you played basketball or hockey. In spring it was either baseball or lacrosse, and then in the summer you would play on a rec team or whatever it might be. And swim. That was the big thing down here in Atlanta. They have all these, all the subdivisions. They all pools, and on Thursday nights you can't even get in there because the swimmers are in there. You got 300 cars in there. So, when your publicist reached out to me, and I actually looked at some of the, gigs that you had done. I mean, they're beautiful, the logos and all that. So it was architectural for me. It was construction. It was design. It was having that vision that either, retailers or hotels or all these kind of guys, they have that same kind of vision, but you just took it to, your youth. And now it's actually in real time. And that's why we had you on here, because I thought it was a very, very cool story. And when I was growing up, no one had logos. You had a basketball net, or and that was it. I mean, here you can customize it please talk.
Look, absolutely. I'm going to move to the side in my Zoom image. You can see, something that we built there. It's all about customization. You can always go out to a nice restaurant or buy a nice car, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, whatever you like, Honda. They're all great cars, but you can't. Not everyone could design what you're designing in your backyard. We all have a different story. I think sports tells a story, but sports connects people. It's the most powerful thing in the world. Like, we began this call talking about lacrosse because we both played lacrosse growing up, and hockey led to lacrosse for you, and baseball led to basketball, led to lacrosse through me. And it just makes the world a lot smaller. But you learn so many great lessons from sports that you can apply it, to friendship, to marriage, to business, to construction. And that's really what it's all about. So growing up, I wanted to be the best basketball player. If I could go right, I could go left, I could pull up, I could do the whole thing. And basketball players always talk with their hands like that. So that's what I wanted to be. But as I got older, realized my business now is, my sport now is business. How can I build the best sport? But I'm not just building a sport product. I really feel like I'm delivering happiness. I'm creating memories. It's really about how you make people feel. So can I deliver this unique experience that doesn't really exist anywhere? And, the good that you do in the world, which I believe comes back to you. So what we're doing is we're creating these amazing experiences. So every time someone sees it, it's me too. I want that. How can I have that? Who built this? It also enhances property value. It creates a place for people to enjoy and connect and bond together. It's a destination. And we have customers call us 5 years later saying, I went with a higher quality hoop than what I could buy on the local level at the big box retailers. And it was high quality, and it emulated what the children see at school. And with that, my son or daughter made the team, and they hit all these free throws, and they had this confidence, and they made more friends. And it changed who they were, that this may have been the best investment that we've ever made. So when someone calls you back 3, 5, 7 years later and just says, thank you, it's amazing. So we think we're doing something that's really cool, and it's much better, at least in my opinion, than, I used to work in tech, and I started out on Wall Street. Like, those are real jobs. This is a real job, but a lot less pressure, a lot more happiness, because you're part of the community. You're creating a platform for people to share. And that arguably the best time of your life growing up was playing sports and hanging out with your friends. But in Brooklyn, it was sewer to sewer. It was stickball. It was baseball. It was football. If you were crazy, it was tackle football on the street. I have the scars to prove it. I wasn't that crazy, but that's what it was. But now we're taking that and we're just creating that in your backyard. And there's a life cycle of sports for younger kids, for older kids. And kids spend so much time on the computers today. They talk about screen time. Well, you know what? We're helping get kids off the screen. We have a Google review where someone calls us the anti-Fortnite. So, if you look around and say, how can I make the community better? How can I contribute? What's my passion? What ties people together? More sports equals less strife. It's just a great way for families and communities to be. So we feel like we're making a difference in our communities, and we're also a platform to make a difference. Dave, one thing that we're doing right now that's pretty exciting is we're adding an initiative called Just One Basketball. It sounds simple, just one basketball. Well, what that is, that every time we sell a hoop or our franchisees sell a hoop, what we're going to do is we're going to donate one hoop through just one one basketball through Just One Basketball. And that can go to, kids who have been through a tragedy, who need a friend, who need to get off the screens, or maybe we could deliver some basketballs to Ukraine where they're rebuilding, or, somebody, had a loss, but, a lot of things come and go. But a basketball could be attached to your hand. You can dribble, you could gain confidence. A basketball is something that people could connect with. So it's like stating the obvious, but a basketball can mean so much for one person, and it's not expensive to do. So we're looking to give synthetic leather basketballs out, in different communities at different times through what we're doing, because we're sharing happiness. For $20, you can share happiness with somebody else. And we're definitely going to do that. And if not, it just sends the message of, why do we do what we do? So we know what our why is, and we're pretty fortunate, and we build amazing things. And I love sports, and I always threaten my customers that I'm going to go to their house, cook up some steaks, leave some soda or beer behind, play some basketball, and I always tell them I'll leave them a medium rare, filet on the grill for them. But it's a really cool business. It's a lot of fun.
I always tell people, I love having athletes on there that have, that were, whether they, played in college or high school, whatever, but they were athletes and they made the transition. And the things that you learn being on a team that you can apply to your business, you can take that to the battlefield, because business is much more vicious than being on any football or lacrosse field. I mean, it just, it's just like when I was bringing my kid up, I'm like, my job is to make sure you have thick skin, because once you get out there in the business world, it is vicious out there, much more than what you're going to deal with on any, ice hockey rink or lacrosse field or wrestler, or whatever it might be. And, I didn't have the internet when I grew up. You played sports, you were outside till dark, and today you're like, people, they're on their video games. They don't know how to change a tire. They don't know how to drive stick shift. I mean, I can go down the list, all those things. And I never pushed my kid to play anything. He always just did it on himself. And I just kind of wanted to make sure, whether it was hockey or lacrosse, I even did taekwondo with him, and
Amazing.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't some Yahoo teaching them the wrong thing, or daddy ball, or any of that stuff. I just wanted to, make sure that if he was going to play something, he was going to be taught the correct way, and, have sportsmanship, win or lose, you shake hands, no profanity, all that kind of stuff. And, and so many times I have people that have played, that have made that transition. You just have just lived it, because you've built a sports franchise, and that you're living in it. That's what's the amazing thing, is that, you took what you loved and you built something, versus, maybe I became a contractor and I built an arena for a sports team or whatever. You're completely different. You're actually you can take someone's youth and build it. I have a question though. Have you had in the past where someone put their logo, let's say, on the basketball court, and they sell their house, and the new guy comes and goes, "Oh man, I can't have that logo on there. They were our arch rivals. I gotta get that redone." That happens, right?
Look, you may have, high school A versus high school B, but, without the rivalry, I think the sport is less fun. But,
Yeah.
If you have the right logo for the right buyer, you can sell your house for a premium. There's something about that.
Yeah.
If you have the wrong, fan moving in, maybe you don't want to sell to them. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
all kidding aside, it's, we've had such overwhelming response. And, it's interesting, as we go to market as a national franchisor, the avatar, the people who seem interested in what we're doing to become franchisees, they want to leave corporate America. They want to own their future, workflow and business, but they want to choose a career that's going to make them happy. There's so many franchises out there, but they're less interested in maybe just, going into food or into mosquitoes or into, moving or junk removal. They're all great industries. They're all super valuable, but this is a passion. This is something that you can influence the community. And the avatar of each of our locations, they all grew up playing sports. They share the same core values. Our core values spell the word sports. And that's really how we guide our business. And everything is just really fun about sharing sports. And really, the difference between us and most people out there is we really understand the intricacies of each sport that we're selling. So you're getting it done, not selling, but what we deliver, and sharing really makes a difference to our customer base. So we've been really fortunate. There's a ton of funny stories with people coming up with designs and names. And one person on the side of a pole pad that we built, because we customize every pole pad at no cost because we want to make it special for those families. Someone had passed away in a family, so they had put a memorial with wings and the initials of the grandmother who passed away. And this was a way for the family to bond. And the grandmother contributed to the cost of the court for the family. So it was kind of a recognition and honor and in memory of. So we do this basically often for a lot of our customers, and it's really meaningful.
I grew up, my mom was from Philly and my dad was from New York. So we had an apartment on 75th and 3rd. So when you said stickball, we used to play stickball in the streets. And if people out there don't know what it is, it's just a thin little stick, a little rubber ball, and you could play in a little narrow area. And, I went to PS 158, 80th in York, and John Jay Park was down there, and we play roller hockey with the Mylock pads. But stickball, that was it in Manhattan. If you lived there, I can remember when I grew up, we had a 3-bedroom apartment, and I'd be kicking field goals in my sister's bedroom against the door and stuff. Because either you went to Central Park or you didn't have any place to play. Greenwise in Manhattan, it was all concrete. So
yeah. And that's the beauty of what we do, because I also lived in Manhattan on First Avenue, Third Avenue, and when you step outside to go to Central Park, you have to take the elevator down, hold your child's hand, walk 4 blocks, cross. By the time they get there, maybe they're thirsty, they have to go to the bathroom. Did you find the right place to play? Now you can go outside at any point in time and just play. So life is made up of moments. And if you could go outside and just play for 15 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes before school, after school, before you're going out for dinner, that's really just a great opportunity to really have that interaction. Let's just shoot one shot together, or, take one shot on goal, or let's have a lacrosse catch. There's so many things that you can do. And for parents, what's really nice about the business is it's home services, so it enhances property values. It's something that people want. But what's really nice is that it's children enrichment. So even when the economy may be headed the wrong way, you're still investing in your children and in your families. And that's what's really nice about our business. So there's so many good positive, from the business drivers, the income drivers, the revenue model, and the story that we tell. So, we're very authentic in what we're doing. With an accent like mine, how can you not be authentic? But look, David, anytime you want to come to New Jersey and play stickball, I have the schoolyard. I'll meet you at your schoolyard. I was PS 193.
Oh, there you go.
Junior high was PS 197, which became JHS, Junior High School 240. So I'll bring it anytime you're ready.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, anytime like that, I always stick those in the back of my mind here, and I will take you up on that. I always, clients, I'll go in and I'll say, hey, listen, I'll bring my skates, or I'll bring my stick, and we'll go out there at lunch and find some stick time or so forth. But stickball, I haven't heard that word in such a long time. I was just thinking to myself, oh my God, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I just jumped back into my past. So with your momentum, let's talk about the last couple of years. So when the shutdown happened, a lot of people were renovating basements or kitchens and that. Did you see a boom in your business, over the last couple of years? Talk about, that, and maybe some of the lessons learned, through the last couple of years, on that roller coaster. And, now we're kind of opening up and, just where
Sure.
you're at.
I think we've been really fortunate. I think while the last few years have definitely proved challenging from, there's an issue, you don't know what's going to happen. When we were first hit, with, those challenges, the question was, what's going to happen to us? How are we going to operate? Are we essential? Are we non-essential? Can we operate? And, we kind of fell into essential, and we were working outdoors for the most part, in people's backyards. So we were able to operate, pretty much, with some challenges, but okay. We took a lot of precautions, but people were spending more time at home. And while they were spending more time at home, they need to occupy themselves. So the dream of what we were doing became really interesting to everyone. So we had great momentum before, COVID in the past 2 years. We had even more momentum afterwards because we saw that there was a huge need. And as people were spending, so it was twofold. Why were people spending time at home? One, everyone started working from home. Companies were closing down and working remotely. But there was a trend in technology over the past 15 years or so of virtual private network, VPN, remote access. You have all of these programs where you can work remotely, kind of like what we're doing right now on Zoom. So now that people were working from home, now they had more time. So now, like when you stepped outside for your lunch, well, maybe you're going to shoot, 50 free throws or 20 threes, from the corner. So there's all this great opportunity to deliver more and create something that's really unique. And people at home, they were spending time making investments in their home where maybe you went to the country club or the playground. Well, many playgrounds, they took down the hoops or they closed off the fields. Well, your home is your castle, your home is your kingdom. Well, now's an opportunity for us to really make it more enjoyable. So home entertainment isn't just a couch and TV and audio video. It's playing sports, it's sharing sports. So we can take your basement and turn that into a mini ice rink. We could turn that into netting. A pitchback today is 10 feet by 10 feet. And that when you throw the ball at it, it doesn't get lost on the sides. It actually comes back to you. So we build full, basketball courts, tennis courts, pickleball courts with pitchback where you could practice. So there's really a sport for everybody to play at home. And when you talk about turf, not only is it eco-friendly and green-friendly, there's a lot of benefits, especially from water conservation and the return on investment from that capital expenditure pays for itself over time. But now if you're putting down turf, put down high quality turf that emulates what you would see on a sports field. That's a gift. And if you're putting down turf, you know what, you could drop a logo on there. That's amazing. You put down Pioneers, you put down your high school, just put your last name on it. You could create your own logo. And now when you walk in, it's like a custom experience or like the locker room experience. Like that's what we're bringing. And it's, you mentioned, man cave or, woman cave or person cave. Well, your backyard could be whatever you want it to be. And that's really what we're designing. So it's not just one sport and it's not just a court. It's everything. And it's been fun. It's been gratifying. And, this is something I think people always need and people always want. It's really nice to have. And, to put it in perspective, we're 10 minutes away from Manhattan, 15 minutes away roughly. And in most cities around the country, the suburbs, everyone feeds into the city. So you spend all this time traveling back and forth from work. And even coming out of COVID, people still travel back and forth from work. Office work's picking up again. But you're trading all of that time to earn an income. Now you have the opportunity to trade some of that income by investing in your sports for your family, really to, create a happy environment. And that's really what it's about. You want to do the best for your family because your kids grow up quickly. They really change so quickly. You have a 2-year-old and next thing you know, he's 8, 14 and, can I have the, car keys, Dad, nice talking to you type of thing. Capture every moment, make every moment special. But sports for me, more than anything, is a sharing, teaching, moment. And, I got great advice from somebody once. He said, be interested and be interesting. And I think sports gives people, boys and girls, men and women, that opportunity to be interested and be interesting and just grow their skill set. So, we've been fortunate, but we create a high quality experience that, continues to deliver on their investment.
So you're a franchisee or a franchisor. If you're talking about, okay, I'm gonna become a in restaurant. You're gonna go rent out a space in a strip center, wherever, or freestand, whatever it might be. You're gonna build a store, and then you're gonna get customers. Do you consider yourself a contractor, or an architect, interior design that has contractors as subs? What do you consider? Because I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, okay, if I became a franchisee, just a hypothetical, down here in Atlanta, would I be a contractor, pitching, hey, I can do that? Because that's what I'm looking at you. You're a branding contractor, right?
We're a hybrid where we're home services, we're children enrichment, we're a technology company, it's customer service company, a hospitality company in some ways, about how you make people feel. So it's an amalgamation of many things. To own My Backyard Sports franchise generally runs from about 107 to 180,000. It's really something that everybody can do if they chose to. The difference between us and restaurants is that we don't need a physical retail space. You don't have to take time to build it out, which could take months or years just to get the location, the lease right, and then to build it out. We're very reliant on technology, but our goal is to be up and running as soon as possible. As soon as you go through training, which is fairly extensive, and we're there to teach on an ongoing basis. It's to start creating revenue opportunities. It's going to market as quickly as possible. But we have a pretty unique vertical. There's definitely a lot to learn to run this vertical, and to do it right and to do it well. And prior to this, we were entrepreneurs and we spent a lot of time building businesses, and we were able to apply our operating principles. So now not only do a lot of our customers like sports, we're teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. We're consulting with them on how to run the different aspects of their business, similar to how I want to be the best basketball player, where I have to dribble, drive, stop, box out, all these different skills that you need. Well, in business, it's finance, it's accounting, it's HR, it's legal, it's management, it's human relationships. There's a lot that happens each day. So we put in all of those platforms for our customers. And then lastly, when we came into the market, we said, what is going to make us the best that we can be? It has to be more than sports. So we did that, but we know sports super well. We know super high quality materials. We have great CAD, great engineering, great architecture, and it's different for each project. But it was the technology that was kind of the tipping point, where we respond to our customers super quick. We don't look to sell. We look to share knowledge. We look to consult with them, look to add value. And when you look to do that, when no one else is doing that in the market, it provides a service that's meaningful. And from our workflow, from beginning to customer calls in, we work with them, we hopefully close the job, we win the project, then we manage through our workflow system, and then each customer has a portal, and we explain not only what we're going to do, but when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it. Here's your documents, here's your pictures, here's what to expect, here's your care of the materials and products we've delivered to you. And it's an ongoing relationship. And if you need support, if you need help, this is how you contact us. This is what we do. But we're very different than the regular contractor who does something and leaves, and there's no follow-up. We're leaving something big in their ground where hopefully they're spending a lot of time. And it's really a relationship. And, people remember us for a long time. And, it's not every day someone puts something that weighs 700-800 pounds with a big red ribbon, literally and metaphorically, in your driveway or in your backyard. What we build is a destination. So we've been really good to balance sports technology, customer service, and put it all together as deliverables to our company. So it could be, in some ways, it's Tiffany's meets Olive Garden. I know this is crazy,
Yeah.
but Olive Garden, they're going to treat you like family, give you bottomless salads, refills, breadsticks. The breadsticks are great, by the way. I've probably eaten too many. And then on the Tiffany side, you're buying something that has a brand, a luxury, and experience. So if you kind of provide something that has a lot of value, that's meaningful, that has a family component, and you put it all together with something that's a premium purchase, that's going to maintain its value, that's going to hold up well, that's going to present well. We're hitting a lot of different, human hierarchy of needs of playing sports. How does it look aesthetically, from appearance, from a property value, from an activity, a health and wellness? And when, people move to a new house or they have a birthday party or they're entertaining, this is part of what we're doing. I mean, what we're doing is part of their, social calendar. So we're hitting a lot of different spots to add value to our customer base. And it's a really nice feeling.
What's the coolest project you've done? Just, I know you've done plenty, but what's one that just sticks out there? No pun intended.
Right. Everything comes back to lacrosse,
Yeah.
So really, we've done a lot of really cool things. We did something for a church last year where our church membership was in a position where they could either, not grow or grow. And when they made an investment in this hybrid basketball volleyball court with 3 baskets, so adults can play full half court regulation, and then younger kids can run a small full court. It was put in use a lot of the time. It became a big part of the community. So they built continuity through community, and they brought people together. So kids were making friends, families were coming together, they were gathering. That was pretty cool. A lot of stuff that we're building is, a basketball hoop for a child who wants to make a team. And it could just be a basketball hoop. When that kid makes the team or has the confidence to try out for the team, it's not fancy, but it's a really amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And really just in the pickleball's become really popular. And the thought is you really need a lot of room for a court, but you really don't. So squeezing pickleball courts in driveways where normally you would say, well, I'll have a half court basketball. Well, half court technically is 42 by 50 on the in high school regulation basketball. But no one has a high school regulation in their backyard. It's what fits. It's 30 by 30. It's 15 by 25. Well, pickleball, which is 44 by 20, you fit it in where you can play. And maybe you don't have as much room on the sides to run around, but it really doesn't matter. It's the big buzzword, but people really enjoy it. The game's not going anywhere. And it really brings people together. For us, anytime we can go into a community or a home and create something that's going to deliver all of the benefits that we discussed, to me, it's a pretty cool project. I built a football field in Brooklyn, hybrid football soccer field in Brooklyn recently. And that was pretty cool because, I grew up in Brooklyn. We didn't have much turf or access. And if you wanted to play on a turf field, you generally had to crawl under the fence or climb over the fence.
Yeah.
So now here I'm actually building this and creating this opportunity for these kids to play. But we always try to do a little bit more for our customers. So if we're building something, can we drop a logo on? Can we custom design the pole pad? Can we put a ribbon on it? Can we give you a gift that's more meaningful to, create an opportunity for the kids to play? So that's really what we're doing. It's a really nice feeling every day. Like, it's a lot of hard work, but I think people appreciate what we're doing. And, we care and we have a passion for what we do. And, generally in all of my businesses, I think I've cared more about the deliverables than the customers, but I think that's what you want we're not a vendor, we're really a partner. And I think that really goes a long way.
That's awesome. Oh man, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. It's just it's a like when your publicist reached out, that's how he got on here, guys. It's a publicist. You tell me the story, and I liked it with sports and this and that, and I did a little. I'm like, oh, I want to have this person on. So, if you were going to leave our listeners with one positive thought or phrase as we, we're ending Q1, we're going into Q2, and it'll be the end of the year before you know it. What would that be?
I'm just gonna have to go for 2 basketball metaphors. One, you miss all the shots you don't take, and I always believed when I was playing basketball, I want to take it to the basket because I'm either gonna get the foul or the basket. But what does that mean? It means you really can be and do anything you want to be. Take the opportunity. You have so many great tools available with the internet to learn. Franchising is great in so many communities. It really adds a lot of value. It's a proven model. You can find your passion, be it sports, be it, building, be it, niche in fast food, and find an opportunity and look to create generational wealth through franchising. It's a lot of hard work. There's no guarantees, but there's really a path forward. And, the way that you want to create this opportunity for your kids to give them happiness, well, you're entitled to happiness to figure out what's your best path forward. And there's really so much opportunity out there. And the world's a lot more flexible if you're smart enough to see how you can apply your skill set to the world. But when you get involved with the right franchisor, they're looking to grow your skills and teach you, and it becomes mutual shared success. And that's really what the goal is. So for us, the best feeling, more than the courts that we build, is when we meet somebody, they come in, become a franchisee, and they're successful on the local level, or they say, look at what I just built, or look at these deals that I just closed in concrete or sport tiles or asphalt or turf, and it's hybrid basketball and pickleball, or pop tennis, or these emerging sports. It's amazing. And to close, one of our favorite projects, going back to the question you asked previously, we did something for a school in Westchester where the children have development challenges. But when they go out to play sports, they're just kids. So they were really invested in the facility where they put in pop tennis, large basketball playing area outside, kind of like a large tennis court conversion. And then they added in 2 side basketball courts. And the kids love them. It enhances the facility. And when you drive down the hill to enter, you have this beautiful blue and gray court with logos in the middle. So when you drive in, it's not just a court, but it's branding, it's welcoming.
Yeah, it's
actually,
a destination. Mm-hmm.
It's a destination for a lot of our schools and camps that we work with. When you build something like this, not only is it branding, as you mentioned, it's social media ready. It's a way to monetize and, bring in income, because it kind of says, like, this is what we're about. And if a picture's worth 1,000 words, I think a nice court in a picture is probably worth 10,000 words, because, everybody has a connection to this. And to close, when I was 10 years old, I was in a sleepaway camp, and there was a basketball court that they had. And the last picture I took, I think in my last summer in camp, was of the basketball court. And I just was introduced to the sport, and I loved it. And when I stepped onto that court, that was the closest I had ever really come to being on a basketball court. In Brooklyn, we had half courts. And as I got older, I found the full courts. But it was something that was amazing. And every time I stepped onto a court, or I go to a stadium, Citi Field or Yankee Stadium, it's an honor. And when I was in my freshman year of college, I was at the University of Maryland. And I spent 2 years there. And in between classes, I would sit in Cole Fieldhouse and watch the players play. And even if the players weren't playing, I'm sitting in this famous stadium. And to me, like, that's what sports were all about. So, like, this is exactly who I am. It's very authentic. I love sharing it. But there's so many people around the country who have the same story as I do. And that kind of bonds us together. And that's why we're attractive to a lot of our customers. And again, it's about what you deliver. So we know why we do what we do and what we deliver. And we're fortunate. And fortunately, the people who have joined us, either as a franchisee, a service provider, our employees, or some of our partners, they all understand the value of sports. And it's really powerful. So we're really coming together, not just to do a job, but to deliver maybe a future for other children. And that also ties into just one basketball.
Your quote about, you can't, I always used to say that it didn't matter if it was hockey or lacrosse. It was like, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Okay. And if you do shoot, you want to make sure you hit the net, because if it doesn't hit the net, you're not going to score. Shooting percentage is all what it's about. And as a coach, even at the high school, we look at tape and all that. And I'm like, look, we didn't take enough shots. And if we did take the shots, we didn't hit the net. So so that quote is just unbelievable. So all you guys out there in business, if you don't take the shot, you're not going to win it. You're not going to make the bid. You're not going to get that project. You're not going to get those things. So that quote is not just because I'm an athlete. I'm just talking as a business person. You got to take the shot, and you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but you're going to learn from it. So that quote was awesome. I mean, it just comes right to home. If someone wanted to reach out to you to bounce some questions off you, or they were thinking about becoming a franchisee, in their local community, how would they reach out to you?
Sure, definitely happy to speak. I believe in paying it forward, sharing information. I've had mentors. Look for mentors. People love to share information. I think that's really what it's all about. You can reach us at mybackyardsports.com or mybackyardsportsfranchise.com. And if you on the website, if you fill out a form, the information will make it to me. My email's on too many spam lists, unfortunately, at the moment. But
Yeah.
you could definitely reach us through there. We're definitely happy to answer any questions, not just about what we do, but if we can encourage you or offer you guidance or introductions into how to become a franchisor or how to become a franchisee or how to find the right franchise. But, take that jump. All it begins is with just taking that opportunity to shoot the ball. And that's not my quote. That's, I think, Michael Jordan's quote. But all of my sports heroes I've learned from along the way. And I actually had one customer reach out to me a couple of years ago. He's from LA. He has a famous name. It doesn't matter who it is, or it does, but I'm not going to say. And he asked for if we can paint his driveway purple and gold from LA. So just think about that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I wrote back. I asked him if he was, the real person. And if he was, I just wanted to thank him because I learned so much watching him play in the 80s and the 90s, mostly in the 90s, and how tough he was. And the lessons of sports that I picked up watching his team play and how they carried themselves. And all of those influences are what My Backyard Sports is about today.
So if you're out there in commercial construction coffee talk land and you're thinking about, becoming a franchisee, or maybe you're at that retirement age, you don't want to hit golf balls and fish, and you just want to stay active, and this is a very cool way to relive your youth, as well as, you can still stay in the construction arena, and God knows let's get those kids off the video games. Come on, man. We got to get them out there. We need more people going into, HVAC. Here's another way that you can help the youth of America to get out of the house and get outside and enjoy themselves. So, Mike, what a great story. Listen, if everyone wants to reach me, you can get, and God, I've had my email with, I don't care. I'm on plenty spam list too. I'm at davidc@ccr-mag.com. Listen, if you've got a story, Mike's publicist reached out to me. That's how he got on here. I look at everything. We had 29 million people hit our website last year. I post all sorts of stuff. So don't discount anything. Don't judge your book by its cover or any of the press releases you send me. It could be a charity tournament. It could be personal announcement, a cool project, whatever it might be. Send it to me. I'll post it. I send you the link. You share it on social media. It's a win-win. If you got a cool project, I've got my 6 project profiles coming up. The form's up on the website. Send it to me. It's like playing the lottery. I know you hate me saying this, but if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win. You don't send me something, I can't look at it. Send it to me, and I'll come back to you. Maybe not that day, but I answer all my emails. So by all means. So Mike, when I come up, stickball, lacrosse, I'm gonna bring my stick.
Look, I'm ready. We could do a home and home series. There's really just nothing better, and it's healthy, and it's healthy activity.
Hey, I'll finish with this. I'll just put a personal story out there. When I grew up, Brad Park, who played for the New York Rangers, was my ultimate idol. We're talking like during Ed Jacquemin, Jean Rattel, Roger Bear. I was a Ranger guy. Grew up, but he was my idol. So I wore 22 all through, hockey, prep school, all the way up, even my own in the AAA league down here. So I got married on a cruise ship. So when I got my stuff, I found out it was the hockey cruise, right? And there were all these famous people that were, Hall of Famers that were going to be on the ship. So I found out that Brad Park was one of the guys. So I played in the 4-on-4 tournament and all this stuff. Anyway, I'm walking through the ship casino, and there he is sitting at the table with his son. And I went up to him, and all these people, they're just asking for autographs. They don't even know who this guy is. So my wife's with me, my newly married wife, anyway, who I've been together with over 30 years, and it's been great. Anyway, I go up to him. I said, Mr. Park, I just want you to know, you were my idol, and I wore 22 all through school. And I just wanted to shake your hand because, without you, I don't know what I would have done. But, and he just looked at me, and he gave me this look, and he shook me. He goes, thank you. because he didn't want to be, it was late at night. He's probably signed hundreds of autographs, and all I wanted to do was shake his hand. And that was probably one of the greatest moments of my life, meeting my idol and just saying, wow, what an honor. And just like I said, it was passion. So anyway, I'm going to end on that. So everybody out there, enjoy the weekend coming up, recharge your battery, have fun with your kids, get out there. And, March is an unbelievable month. You got March Madness, you got all these other sports that are going on. And heck, listen, if you're thinking about building a new house or, you got someone, here you go. My Backyard Sports. It's a great fit for you. That's my pitch to you. And if you don't take that shot, you can't score. So, Mike, say goodbye from North Jersey.
Well, I'm saying goodbye on behalf of Brooklyn, North Jersey, Houston, Austin, Long Island, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, all the areas we cover. And look, wherever there's a backyard, we'll be coming to visit you soon.
All right. Everybody out there, we'll see you next time, and stay positive. If you're out there on a construction site, stay safe and drink lots of water. And Mike, I look forward to meeting you and shaking your hand. Everybody out there, we'll see you next time on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
All righty.